Hey! Roger! Oh, Rocket Chick Roger! Hello there! Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for being inside. I know a lot of people like for me to do my videos outside on the patio because of the scenery, but today's really kind of an ugly day, and the lighting's just not right, and I couldn't get it to work for me. But anyway, I got an email yesterday from one of our subscribers, and she was wanting, let me make sure I'm recording. She was wanting to ask some questions about, problems. What kind of problems can they expect? And she gave me a list of a few things to go over, and I'm going to kind of read part of it to you. She said, "Hello, we watched your video where you read a letter from a person who complained about life in Colombia, and you compared it to life in Ecuador. Quite frankly, I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. But anyway, we would like to move to Ecuador, but we have many doubts about it. It is always worth starting with the disadvantages to understand whether we can cope with them. For example, we heard that Ecuador and blah, 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 blah." And so I need to level my camera for some reason. But anyway, so I took this paragraph here and I fed it into ChatGPT and said, summarize it and give me the questions that are in the paragraph. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions that she asked, and I think they're worth repeating. So number 1, police and legal system in Ecuador. If there is a traffic accident and the police are called, do they arrest and imprison all participants until a court decision is made? Is this why drivers avoid calling the police? Well, I've heard that. I've heard that could happen. I've also heard that people might be taken to the police station and for arbitration. I don't know that anybody actually gets thrown in jail. That might be a good question for an attorney, and I'll ask around and find out. I do know this, and I want to say this about driving here. Insurance is not required, okay? There is no requirement to have insurance, and if you have an accident with somebody, even if you're in a taxi, and if you're safe and if you're not hurt, I would get the hell away from the scene. Case in point, I would cross the Malecon one day, and a taxi stopped to let me cross the crosswalk. And just as I started to step into the street, another taxi decided to go around this guy, and so he was going to go around him, and he had to stop because he saw me. Well, somebody rear-ended him. Now, it would have been very easy for them to blame that accident on me. So I just hightailed it and got out of there. They got out, and I thought they were going to come to blows with each other. They were not happy, but because they don't stop for pedestrian crosswalks. There's no such thing as that here, like we know in the United States. But if you have an accident with somebody, which ironically, since I drive a car here, I can't believe how few accidents I've seen since I've been here. These people, as shitty of drivers as they are, they do a pretty good job of avoiding accidents. Could be that maybe it's because they'll get thrown in jail. But there's no insurance, so to answer your question, to be honest about it, I don't know that any of that is really true, but I do believe that if you call the police and you don't have somebody to work it out, they're going to take you somewhere, and you're going to have to get it worked out. So, second question, economic situation. How concerning is the current economic situation in Ecuador for potential immigrants? It's pretty good right now. The rate of inflation, I looked it up, and the inflation rate right now is 1.48%. That's as of June of this year, which is actually down from last month, just by a few percentage points. The economy's good here. I mean, it's not good for the locals, that's for sure. I think it sucks for the locals. Minimum wage is $4.75 a month. How can you be happy with that? But these people here know how to live on that kind of money. We don't, you know. So for us, and if you come down as an expat, yeah, your economy's going to be pretty good, especially if you have, you know, decent income, retirement, Social Security, pension. You know, you can come here and invest in CDs, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and you can have a, you know, economically speaking, you can have a pretty nice life here. So that brings me to the next question: banking system and account freezes. Is it true that Ecuadorian banks easily block accounts? I don't know what to say easily, but anyway, easily block accounts without warning, especially if they question the origin of the funds. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they want to know where your money came from, because money laundering is a big deal here. And so if you come in here with $50,000, $60,000, $100,000, you want to invest in CDs, you better be prepared to prove where you got that money from. I'm speaking from experience. I didn't have that kind of money, but I had pretty substantial amount of money that I brought. I didn't bring it with me, that I earmarked to bring here, to transfer here from Schwab to my JEP account here to buy CDs. And it took 2 weeks for me to get clearance, you know, just to get vetted to prove that the money that I have in the bank is my money and it's not stolen. They wanted to see the check. They wanted to see a copy of the check from the title company where I sold my condo, and they wanted to see the deposit, you know, and so they want, yeah, you're right. If you come here with a chunk of change and you just plop it right into a bank, more than likely it's going to get frozen until they determine that it's not laundered money. That's just the nature of the business here, okay? The next question is, how can someone conduct large transactions like buying a car or real estate? Well, you'll do it with wire transfers, you know. When I bought my car, you know, I had my JEP account. I had a CD. Let me slow down, Shader. I had a CD here for a year. Okay, the CD was due to mature on the first anniversary date of my arrival. I went ahead and renewed the CDs with the exception of 20 grand. I told Aviate, pull 20,000 out of my CDs, put it in my savings account, and then the rest, let's roll over into another year. And that's what we did. I would use that money to buy my car. And the way I bought the car was I went to Amacar, it's a dealership here. They sell mostly Chinese and foreign vehicles. And I bought my car, and I was able to do it with a direct wire transfer from JEP to their bank, which I think was Banco Pichincha. Now, there was a little catch to it. I could only do $10,000 a day. So the first day I did the 10,000, second day I did 9,100. My car cost me $19,100. Brand new car, 2023 Southeast DX3. It's just like a Mazda DX3. Except it's got a Mitsubishi motor in it, a little gutless little motor. I think a bicycle is more powerful, but anyway, it is what it is. It gets about 40 miles to the gallon, and it's a nice, comfortable car, and I'm very happy with it. I don't care what people say about Chinese cars. I'm happy with mine. I don't give a damn where it comes from. It's my car. But anyway, so I mean, once your money is here, once you've transferred it, you know, if you transfer it, like say you bank at Schwab, the way you get your money from Schwab to here is you will, if you're at JEP, like I am, they will help you with the wire transfer. They'll give you the routing numbers, and when you just go into Schwab and you will initiate the transfer, and you're going to send it to JEP's bank account at Banco Pichincha in Miami, and then Banco Pichincha will send the money to JEP. Okay, that's the way you're going to do it. It takes a couple days to do it. There's about a $25 fee, at least there was for me, and it's easy peasy. So it really wasn't a big deal, you know. The main thing is that once you're vetted, you're here and you brought your money in and it's in the bank and they've determined that it's safe, clean money, and you're not going to have any trouble buying things like that. Okay? The last question it has to do with crypto. Well, it's actually not the last question. Next to the last question, cryptocurrency. How can someone cash out cryptocurrency in Ecuador? Are there exchange offices available? You know, this is the first time anybody's asked me about cryptocurrency. I don't have cryptocurrency. I wouldn't buy cryptocurrency. I would, if Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett and those guys, if they're not going to buy it, I'm not going to buy it. I know lots of people have made lots of money on it, but good for them. You can make money on a lot of things about cryptocurrency, but if you have it and you want to use it here, there is a way for you to use it here. And I have a paper on it that I got from Perplexity that I downloaded with sources, okay? I'm going to put this document in my Google Docs. I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. You're welcome to go and pull this document and read all about cryptocurrency. I will read a couple paragraphs from the first page here. Cashing out cryptocurrency in Ecuador. Current legal framework. Cryptocurrencies are not legal tender in Ecuador. Okay? The US dollar is the only recognized currency, and cryptocurrencies are not authorized as a means of payment or official currency under Ecuadorian law. Use of cryptocurrencies is not banned for individuals, while the central bank prohibits official entities from issuing or using non-authorized cryptos. Private citizens can still own, exchange, and transact with cryptocurrencies at their own risk. So they talk about they have crypto ATMs and online crypto exchanges, and they have peer-to-peer trading, and then there's regulatory considerations and warnings. So, no government backing. Crypto transactions are not protected by Ecuadorian authorities. The central bank has underscored risk such as price volatility, lack of regulation, and potential fraud. Not recognized as legal payment. Businesses and legal entities are not required or encouraged to accept crypto payments. FinTech regulation is evolving. Recent laws aim to create more frameworks for digital transactions, but comprehensive, specific crypto regulations are still lacking. So, follow the link in my description and get this document, okay? I'm talking to the person that wrote the email to me, and to everybody else that's watching this, okay? And the last question, any other advice? You know, of course, you know, folks, you know I don't give advice, but I want to say this, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. It's safe to come here, all right? It's safe. We had 25 shootings in Montevideo this month, all gang related. You know, let them all kill each other, but I still think it's pretty safe. I'm going to go to Nuevo Tarqui tomorrow, the first time in my life since I've been here, and I'm going to go where supposedly, you know, it's not 100% safe, but I'm going anyway. I'm going to take my video camera and I'm going to do a video about the container store. It's going to be an interesting video, so stay tuned. I want to give you some advice, and everybody knows that I don't like to give advice, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep saying this until I turn blue in the face. Do not sell out your house and your cars and all your belongings and just come to Ecuador thinking that you're going to come to rainbow and glitter farts, okay? This is not paradise, folks. I say it again, it is not paradise here. I don't care what YouTube nitwit you followed or what YouTube couple you followed. It's not what you think. It's a nice place to come and live. You can come and live on the coast, or you can live in the mountains. Cuenca, to me, is the best place in Ecuador to live. I live on the coast because my girlfriend's here, and I don't live in Cuenca because I can't do the altitude. But if you can live the altitude, Cuenca is an awesome place here in Ecuador. So, come here 6 months, come here for a year, rent an apartment, even if it's an Airbnb. You know, get in touch with Stella and have her find you a place to stay and, you know, make sure that this is where you want to be. I've met too many people that have come here like myself and sold out everything, didn't work out, and they ended up going back and having to start all over again. I did a video about this just recently. That's all I'm going to say on it. Okay, if you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. If you didn't like this video, bite me, okay? But say that with peace and love. I'll see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.